This just in.
It's time for a 49ers news update. Welcome to 49ers Cutback. 49ers had a lot of players returning to practice and they had some that missed. The Green Bay Packers are also dealing with a bunch of injuries as well. Going to go into all that and more in this episode of the 49ers news update. Please give the channel a like and subscription. Really appreciate it. On the push for 5K can really help it out. So, when we're talking about guys coming back, it doesn't get no bigger than Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey missed last week's practices, but this week he returned. He's going to be a full participant in practice, meaning he's going to start and be ready against the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round. That's great news for the 49ers, a team that rushes the football for 141 yards per game, led by the league leader in rushing, Christian McCaffrey, are going to be going against the Green Bay Packers defense that gives up 128 yards per game on the ground. This is such a significant play for the 49ers. They're going to have Christian McCaffrey available and ready to go. And that's exactly what you need. Now, as far as players who weren't available for practice, of course, Cleveland Farrell, starter Cleveland Farrell wasn't available for practice. He's not going to be available probably until the NFC Championship week, maybe even the Super Bowl. We'll see. But right now, he's going to be out, and he was not practicing. Dre Greenlaw took the day off with an Achilles injury. They did say that they practiced him the day before and worked him pretty hard. And so this was just giving him rest because he's been dealing with the tendonitis in the Achilles. But that tomorrow, Greg Greenlaw is expected to be out there and practicing, which meaning 49ers are going to have all three starting linebackers healthy, capable, and ready to go for practice on Wednesday. And that could mean that they are all going to be ready to go for the game, which I believe will be the case. Now, a new name popped up on the injury report, and that is safety Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan has been in the midst of a potential starting battle between him and Jair Brown. Who's going to get the start and who's going to be kind of the rotational piece? Well, he's been dealing with a groin injury, and he did miss practice, but Kyle Shanahan said he had a couple of tests to pass, but he did believe he'd be back at practice tomorrow, meaning we're going to have Logan Ryan capable and ready to go for the San Francisco 49ers. And then Trent Williams, he took off his normal rest day, so Trent Williams back to his normal routine, and he'll be back at practice tomorrow as well. Limited in practice for the 49ers. Defensive tackle Eric Armstead continues to work his way in with the foot and knee injury, but it's very optimistic that he's going to be available for the Green Bay Packers. It should start next to Javon Hargrave. Big pickup for the 49ers. And then safety George Odom was limited in practice. He's coming back from the biceps injury. He was wearing a blue vest out at practice, which means no contact. But Kyle Shanahan said it looked like he was trending the right direction to be available and ready to play in the game versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, of course, George Odom's on the IR. So if Odom does come back, the 49ers will have to make a corresponding move, which means they will have to either put someone on the injured reserve or release somebody. The 49ers have a big decision to make when it comes to George Odom. And the 49ers already made a move on the practice squad earlier in the day. They waived and released Jeremy McNichols, running back, and they signed Austin Bryant, defensive end. Now, Austin Bryant had been with the 49ers through training camp and through the early part of the season. 49ers let him go once they had traded for Randy Gregory. Well, now with the injury to Cleveland Farrell, they're looking for veteran depth along that defensive line, and Austin Bryant knows the system as he already went through all the practices with the 49ers, and now they have a capable backup if they need to elevate a defensive end just in case. So some work still being done by the 49ers. But guys who came back to practice in full participant, Jair Brown, he's 100% healthy and ready to go. Great news for the 49ers. John Feliciano is back and more than likely stepping right into that right guard starting spot. This is great news. Tashawn Gibson is back after his quad strain. He's been back. Danny Gray was healthy. He's a full participant in practice. George Kittle is back. He is not a problem anymore. He's got through the back spasms. And then, of course, Ambry Thomas, who had hand surgery, is a full participant at practice. Absolutely great news for the San Francisco 49ers, getting healthy at the right time, getting most of their guys back. Now, you flip over to the Green Bay Packers, and they're not healthy. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries, and one of the big injuries has been running back A.J. Dillon, and he's still not practicing. He's dealing with a thumb and neck, and that has kept him out of several games now. So A.J. Dillon did not practice, and it's not looking good for his availability against the 49ers. Defensive tackle Kingsley Enabare, he also is dealing with a knee. He's doubtful. It's unlikely that Enabare is going to be able to play in this game. And then linebacker Isaiah McDuffie was dealing with a neck. He didn't practice. He got hurt in the wild card weekend. McDuffie was flying around making plays. Now he's going to be out. And then linebacker Preston Smith, he missed practice with an ankle. I fully expect McDuffie and Smith to be back at some point and ready to go. But them missing practice, we're going to keep continuing to monitor it tomorrow and beyond to see if those guys do come back. Limited in practice, cornerback Jair Alexander. The fact that he came back already is good news for him because it did not look good in the game. He was dealing with an ankle injury, and then he rolled his ankle again against the Cowboys. So he's limited in practice right now. Fully expect him to be playing. Defensive end Kenny Clark has been dealing with the back, but he was limited. Rashawn Gary, knee, he's limited. Aaron Jones, he's been dealing with a knee and a finger. He was limited. So those guys will be back. Wide receiver Jaden Reed's dealing with a chest. He was limited. Darnell Savage, shoulder and calf. He was limited. And, of course, Christian Watson continues to be limited with a hamstring. He missed 5 games before the wild card game with a hamstring injury. So those guys are all trying to get healthy and get back. One of the rewards the 49ers have of having a bye week, they're going to be more healthy than the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have a quick turnaround now where they've got to be ready to go from playing on Sunday to playing on Saturday. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, less time to prepare. 49ers have had more time and are able to prepare. So good news for the 49ers, and hopefully more good news as this week continues. Hopefully Logan Ryan and others who have missed practice will return to practice tomorrow. And it's nothing but good news for the San Francisco 49ers. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this 49ers news update. Looking forward to bringing you more news updates. Come right back here to 49ers Cutback for those news updates. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already on that push for 5K. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe. Remember, the right way is always the 49ers.